Hey, customers, welcome back to another episode of Fast Film, where we cover all the news and reviews just for yous. This week, we're going to be covering June 18th to June 25th. For trailers this week, Netflix dropped a big trailer for their One Piece project. It's going to be a live action adaptation of probably one of the longest running animes ever. Netflix is spending $18 million per episode on this. That's more than Game of Thrones got for their last season and The Mandalorian, so they're definitely putting a lot behind it. This project's going to be coming out on August 31st.
And Adult Swim has released a new trailer for the Metalocalypse movie called Army of the Doomstar. I'm going to assume this one's going to be a sequel to the Doomsday Requiem, which was a TV movie that released about 10 years ago. For context, Metalocalypse is an Adult Swim cartoon about the world's biggest death metal band. It's fucking hilarious. I love this show. People are always dying. Shit's always going wrong. And this one, I believe, is going to be straight to DVD, and I believe it's coming out August 22nd.
And we also got a trailer for Dumb Money. For anybody who doesn't know about this is all about the GameStop stock that and the shorting that took place, the people that invested in it. It's kind of a whole thing. It's got a great cast. It's got Paul Dano in the lead, Seth Rogen, Pete Davidson, Shailene Woodley, Vincent D'Onofrio, and there's even more people than I haven't named yet. This movie's going to be coming to theaters on September 22nd.
And Gal Gadot, whatever her name is going to be starring in another Netflix original movie called Heart of Stone. It's an action movie where she's a protagonist trying to stop a hacker from stealing a valuable weapon. It looks very much like a Mission Impossible movie, and then surprisingly, it's actually by the producers of Mission Impossible. So we'll see how it is. It looks pretty fun, like an action movie. It's going to be on Netflix on August 11th.
I didn't know that was coming to Netflix. So Elizabeth Banks and Zach Galifianakis have a movie coming out called The Beanie Bubble. It's going to be telling the whole story about how Beanie Babies like really took over in the 90s and became such a big deal, and people kind of valued them more than gold at one point. This movie is going to be dropping to Apple TV on July 28th.
And Drive Away Dolls is about two friends who go on a spontaneous road trip to Tallahassee when they pick up their rental car. Turns out that the rental car is actually meant for some criminals. It has a suitcase in there. We don't know what's in there yet. They didn't show it. But of course, the criminals are now tracking them down. Pedro Pascal is going to be in it, and Matt Damon is also in it, but it doesn't seem like they have a big role. It's also written and directed by Ethan Coen, who is one of the brothers of the Coen brothers. And they do amazing movies like Fargo, Big Lebowski, No Country for Old Men. This one's going to be hitting theaters on September 22nd.
And then the second movie in the Spider-Man villain movies that have no Spider-Man, we got a Kraven the Hunter trailer this week. It's going to be just not sure how this is going to be going down. The last one that came out was the Morbius movie, and we all know how great Morbin Time was. This one looks pretty interesting, though. I'm a huge Kraven fan, so hopefully they do this character right. It's definitely high in violence on the trailer. I mean, at one point he uses a bear trap to kill a guy, like puts it on his head. This is going to be coming out on October 6th. I'll definitely be seeing this movie. Also, a random fun fact for this, Russell Crowe's playing his dad in this. That means it's the third time Russell Crowe's played a superhero's dad in a movie. He was Zeus, so he's Hercules' dad, and he was Jor-El, and so Superman's dad in Man of Steel. Just that random thing that keeps happening to Russell Crowe. And then for headlines this week, we have more about this whole Spider-Man without the Spider-Man villain movies without the Spider-Man. El Muerto looks like they're delaying that even more. Bad Bunny's dropped out of it due to the writer's strike and not being able to get it done. So they're losing their lead actor. Who knows if they'll still make this or if they're going to replace him, or maybe with the writer's strike delay, they can actually just, bring him back and you can find a new opening in his schedule, but we'll see.
And Dan Stevens has been announced to be taking over Justin Roiland's character in Solar Opposites. I've never seen the show, doesn't really catch my attention, but I will probably try to tune in now since I do like Dan Stevens. He came out in The Guest, which is an amazing movie. I love that one. But Justin Roiland has been removed due to the allegations he received recently, but we'll see how it comes out.
Yeah, I actually watched that show, and it's just kind of the same jokes as Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
It's all the same stuff from Roiland. Then it's been revealed recently that there's multiple cuts of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse in theaters as a meta commentary to go along with this movie of different dimensions and all the different timeline stuff. It's kind of interesting to see them do this. I mean, it's very minor changes, but still kind of interesting. It does raise some interesting questions though, when you think about which is the real version? When it comes to, out on DVD or streaming services, what version's going to be is the movie I saw in theaters, am I ever going to be able to see that one again, or is it always going to be something different? It's an interesting concept to try to hit. We'll see how it plays out going forward though.
Actually thinking about that, wouldn't it be kind of cool if they did release the movie but each DVD is a different version of it as well, so you never know which one you get. It'd be kind of cool.
Once you get to the point where you just want to see like I saw this one in theaters, I want to see that.
Yeah, I get that.
We'll see what they end up doing. I mean, this is like a first, it feels like, so we'll see what ends up with,
Yeah, but let's get into this weekend beef. So this week, the Weeknd has gotten into some beef, not with an artist, not with a rapper, but with fucking Oreos. He got into an argument with Oreos online on Twitter because they were tweeting out, shitty things about his show, The Idol, which I get, it totally deserves it. But I guess it really tickled his booty because he was not happy. He started talking shit back to them, but I feel like it's all fake because they squashed it like right away. But we'll see. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Warner Brothers is like, dude, your show already sucks. You're a bad actor. You can't be beefing with
cookies.
A cookie company on top of it. So with Secret Invasion dropping this week, they have been getting a little bit of hate because their opening credits were created by AI and not by actual like personal artists. I don't see a big deal with it just because there's still a team of people that have to run the whole AI system. So it still had like 10 people just for that part of it. So it's not like people are completely losing their jobs. I mean, it also fits the theme of the show. It's supposed to be AI art is always kind of a little off, and that whole show is supposed to make you feel like something's a little off because it's all about the secret invasion. So I don't see that big of a deal with it, but it's bad time to probably do it since the writer strike's going on.
Yeah, and Harrison Ford has said that just because he's retiring from playing Indiana Jones does not mean he's retiring from acting. He says that he doesn't do well when he doesn't have work, so he's not planning on retiring anytime soon. I totally get that because when my dad retired, he was bored out of his fucking mind starting projects, then leaving them to start another project. But I totally get it. But I mean, it's kind of weird to me because you're fucking rich, Harrison Ford. You can do anything you want. You don't have to just be at home. You have all the time to fucking drink and fly. But yeah, he's not retiring.
That maybe it's for the best. We don't want him out there flying.
All right, let's get into reviews. You got Righteous Stones or Righteous Gemstones?
I started with Righteous Gemstones this week. They had their third season premiere last Sunday, so episode 2 comes out. Well, today, the day of recording. Tomorrow when this drops, or yesterday when this drops. We got to see. It's kind of interesting to see what they're doing now that John Goodman's character has stepped down as the leader of their mega church and he's letting his kids take over. And I mean, it's just a mess. It's a very typical like Danny McBride kind of project where everybody's just kind of awful. I mean, it feels like the most realistic interpretation of televangelists because I'm pretty sure they're just garbage people anyway. The first 2 episodes did introduce a couple new characters. We got to see Eli's younger sister, who's played by Kristen Johnson, and we got to see her ex-husband, who is like a fanatical Christian who's like running a military group, and it's played by Steve Zahn. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how this season goes. It's always crazy. I mean, Danny McBride is just on his own level for comedy, so this has been a lot of fun to watch the first 2. Definitely going to be catching the rest of it while it's dropping.
And Skull Island came out on Netflix. Finally, came out on Thursday night. It's a cartoon based about a shipwreck that's landing on Skull Island, where King Kong's from. I've only got to catch 2 episodes of it, and it's just not my cup of tea. King Kong hasn't even made an appearance yet. And it just didn't catch my attention. I'll try to keep watching it and hopefully get through it. Maybe just catch up until King Kong comes out. But unfortunately for me, it's going to be a nope. But I'll try to finish it.
Yeah, I think he comes out in like the 3rd or 4th episode.
I only got 2. That's 2.
And I mean, finally, we've been covering Secret Invasion on this show for months now, and finally the first episode's dropped. It really plants the seed for what they're trying to do for this season or for this show. I mean, it's how do you stop an invasion when the enemy can shapeshift to become anyone they want? We've already seen this in the first episode with some characters that they've changed into major people throughout the series or throughout the whole MCU. We're going to see a lot more of Nick Fury in this. I love him. I love Samuel Jackson as that character, and I like Ben Mendelsohn a lot as Talos, the one good scroll, it seems like. And Emilia Clarke kills it in the first episode. There's a lot of people predicted she's playing Talos' daughter that we got to see when she was younger in the Captain Marvel movie. I mean, she's working for the bad guy now, so that's going to add some more conflict. As a huge Marvel fan, I was going to watch this no matter what, but I think there is a lot of potential for this show, and maybe if you're just into like kind of spy stuff and sci-fi stuff, this might work for you too. We'll check back at the end of the season with another review, and I'll let you know if it was a dope, but it's a dope to start.
And The Bear is back with season 2 on Hulu. The whole season came out on Friday, and I sat there and watched the whole season in 2 days. And I gotta say, I love this show. It's an amazing show. We covered the first season on this channel, and we all loved it. Season 1 ends with them closing down the shop to renovate it, and this season is pretty much the whole renovation process of it. And the one thing I do love about this season is that they kind of give each character their own episode to kind of show you more in depth about them. A couple of my favorite episodes was Marcus the baker. He goes to Copenhagen, and that's a great episode. Adam Warlock's in it. What I don't know his real name, but Will Poulter. There we go, that guy. And also the 6th episode, which is about Cousin Rich, and that's probably my favorite episode. Episode 5 is actually an hour long. It's a Christmas dinner episode, so we have John Barenthal coming back as a brother. We have Jamie Lee Curtis as the mom, Bob Odenkirk as an uncle, John Mulaney, he's there. And that's just to name a few. It's a crazy episode. This whole season was crazy. The last episode is the opening day of the restaurant, and everything's going horrible. It's a chaotic episode. I had anxiety throughout the whole episode. And I just can't wait to see what they do with season 3 because it ends on a cliffhanger. We don't know what's going to happen. And I'm just looking really forward to it. And The Bear is a big dope for me. I love it.
Yeah, I watched all of it too. It's definitely a dope show to check out. Mm-hmm. And I mean the Christmas episode's the one that gave me the most anxiety. But
yeah,
that was bad.
It's like nonstop shit going on.
God. Then for the movies in theaters this week, the big one's going to be No Hard Feelings. That's starring Jennifer Lawrence. You know, it was pretty fun. I got to see this in a actually pretty full theater, which I always recommend for comedies and horror movies because, you know, once the crowd starts laughing, you're more inclined to laugh yourself. Yep. Everyone I brought with me to the movie enjoyed it. It was nice to see a raunchy comedy in theaters. I feel like we haven't seen something like that was actually good in theaters for a really long time. Jennifer Lawrence is great. She does great in the comedic parts, but also there's specifically one scene where I was sitting there watching her and I was like, oh yeah, this is why you won an Oscar. And she's doing that performance on R-rated comedy. So, I mean, she's really great. I do recommend this if you like comedies. It was a lot of fun for sure. It's getting a dope from me. I guess I'm getting kind of light on how I appreciate stuff because everything's getting a dope lately for me. But No Hard Feelings was good for sure. I had a great time with it. And then for deep cuts this week, since we have the new Indiana Jones movie coming out, we were thinking we should cover some other Harrison Ford movies that are a little older, some people haven't seen and stuff like that. So my pick is going to be Air Force One. It's definitely one of my favorite 90s movies. It's got Harrison Ford as President James Marshall, Gary Oldman as the villain, Ivan Krojinov. Gary Oldman manages to sneak onto Air Force and take over the plane with the most important hostage missing. So it's up to Harrison Ford to get the plane back. It's Die Hard with the president on a plane. I mean, I love Die Hard too. I definitely can't recommend this movie enough. It is a classic 90s movie. It's a ton of fun. I highly recommend it. It's currently on AMC Plus, but you can also rent or purchase it on Amazon Prime.
He wasn't drinking and flying the plane, was he?
No, he wasn't drinking, but at one point he does throw a guy off a plane and yell, "Get off my plane," which is one of the best parts of that whole movie.
Dude, I bet that wasn't even in the script. That was just really him.
That was just him, maybe. Yeah. Dude, I even, after writing the script for this, I was like, I'm fucking watching Air Force One again.
And for this week, I'm picking the Harrison Ford movie, The Fugitive. This one was released in 1993, and it also has Tommy Lee Jones. Harrison Ford he's accused of murdering his wife, which he really didn't. It's I can't remember exactly
like
what happened.
3-fingered man or something.
No, armless, I think, because he has a whole prosthetic arm. But so he ends up getting tried and sentenced to death. He gets transported to prison, but on the way there, they crash. And then so he takes it as an opportunity to escape and find the real killer. But then at the same time, he's the target of a manhunt led by Tommy Lee Jones. He's a U.S. Marshal. But it's a great movie. It's fun. I haven't seen this one in a long time. I kind of missed it. But unfortunately, it's only on Pluto. It's streaming on there, but it's also available to rent on Amazon.
Come on, Luis, give us a line from this one.
No, but I do remember when he jumps. I can't remember if it's the sewer or what, but he like turns around and he turns back.
Like
and
jumps off a dam, and it's like, I didn't kill my wife.
And Tommy Lee Jones
is like, I don't care.
Thanks again, customers, for tuning in. Here's what's coming out. Here's what's out currently. Have a good weekend.
Mm-hmm.